Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else who might tune in or who is watching right now. So, I wanted to go live a bit earlier today. Why? Because we got CPI coming out in about 5.5 to 6 minutes. Let's check exactly. 5 minutes and 45 seconds till we got CPI data. So how is everyone doing today, guys? Where's my chat at? Let me check. Confirm our chat. There's my chat. So yeah, CPI, interesting one, very interesting one. Let me notify the Discord. Dump it. 80.4 seems to hold, yes, but that's pre-CPI. And yet again, as I said yesterday, look at how we keep returning to the EMAs, right? EMAs are almost leveling out. CPI is coming out. And let me tell you one thing. If we're actually going above the 3.7, if CPI comes in hot and smoking and screaming, we're gonna have a very, very interesting day. Very interesting day. Oil made a move. Damn, oil is up 3% again, above 100. The stock markets have not yet reacted. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a doozy. Absolute doozy. Again, if in 3.5 minutes we come in harder than 3.7%, we're going to see a lot of fireworks. And I think there is quite a probability that it's actually happening. In the meantime, you can use MetaMask. Link is in description to go on the poly market feature or on the trading feature to actually trade it. And as you guys know, my partner is Bluefin. That link is in the description as well. But you can even predict what CPI is going to do. So if I look at predictions, go to CPI, you can even bet on what do you think that it's going to come out at. So check it out. Link is in the description. As now we're pre-dumping slightly. With 2 minutes to go, I'm excited, guys. Super dump. I hope it's gonna be an absolute super dump. It will be epic. Listen, I'm hoping that we get some bad CPI numbers, that the trade's gonna go very well, because currently I'm in the short still. And I decide that from next week, I'm gonna do some scalping sessions again. We're gonna do 10K, 20K scalping, maybe even 1K scalping. It's time, guys. Tomorrow I'm traveling back to South Africa, and after that it's back to scalping. I'm just, you know, I miss the scalping sessions. I think we should bring them back. What do you guys think? By the way, hit the like button. It's absolutely free. If you want to support me, if you want to support the channel, and if you want to make sure that everything remains free, that's the way to do it. Look at how again at exactly the EMA, they're just reversing it. It's uncanny. It's absolutely uncanny. And every time frame right now is on the fence. Look at how they reverse this candle, man. Scandals. Oh, guys, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Again, if CPI comes in harder than expected. So if the yearly comes in above 3.7, we're gonna dump. 7 out of 9 times after recent CPI data, we've seen a move to the downside. But now with the irrationality, I don't know what to tell you guys. 50 seconds till CPI. Hello again. Hello, buddy. I'm here every day. What about you? 10-10 2.0 loading. Bro, listen. I have a strong gut feeling that actually might be the case. That another 10-10-ish event is coming. Why? Because everything remains too bullish, man. It's too easy. But gold is or oil is going up. Oil had some nice rallies and is up a couple percent again. Stocks on the fence. I don't know. Might go any way, any direction. Left, right, center, up, down, left, forward. We don't know. And to my guy, how are you, buddy? How are you? How are you? How are you? Oh. It's data time. Bro, no one knows the numbers, but the candle apparently does already. 3.8. Ooh. 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 That's not bueno. Yearly CPI coming in hard. Listen guys, if this actually ends up being bullish, I'm out. I'm lost for words. And people cannot say priced in or whatever. This should be bad. Should be good for oil. Should be good for Dixie. Dixie should rally. Should be bad for Bitcoin and bad for stocks. Why? Because the inflation is not cooling down. What this means is change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers. This means that the inflation is not coming down. Going to pump it back? They might. We might need to wait an hour until New York to absolutely show its hand. To show its hand, but it's not bullish, guys. It's definitely not bullish. They stop unraising it. It's let's see what happens now, guys. So I won the bet. I thought the numbers were negative. So that means I made some money on Polymarket. Or well, on MetaMask. Again, guys, link in the description. Let's get an update on beat the bear challenge on Bluefin. Come on, dump it, Bitcoin, dump it. So we're almost unlocking the 60K price pool. And still by a landslide, we're going to win the trading volume. That means that we're going to get 10.5K allocated to our community. And P&L, if we keep this up, we're going to get 4.5K as well. So that means that we're going to have 15K in profits or in prize money distribution to our beautiful community, which I think is absolutely great. Great team, great effort, absolute class. Absolute class. So if you guys still want to participate, look at whales. Let's check the statistics on FlowX as well. Ooh, minus 12 million on the whales. So the big orders are actually pressuring down. But this candle, it's... How you will distribute it? I won't distribute it. It's an automatic system, my friend. Salam, yes. The better the volume, it's pro ratio, right? So if you did more volume, you will get more in return as well. Hello, Dutchman. Hello, hello, buddy. Bitcoin's still holding, guys. What a surprise. What a surprise. We're still at the same exact mind-boggling, annoying point in the charts. Have you eaten today? Yes, I had a sandwich this morning. And we pump back above the EMA. This PA in this market is so God-forgiven brain rot. I cannot even describe it with words. Listen, this thing has the magic power to absorb absolutely anything. We went from weeks upon dumping and just being an absolute shitcoin to bluntly pumping. Look, what I've been telling you for days now. Look where they end the candle. Exactly on the EMA yet again. It's like clockwork. Perhaps I sleep. Yo, Nick, get some sleep, man. The program on the right side is FlowX. It's free to use. It's our own charting tool. Soon a lot of upgrades are coming, but there's the link. So we have negative numbers. We have everything pointing down. Key indicator of inflation, heavily influencing market volatility. A higher than expected hot CPI boosts the USD and Treasury yield while acting as a drag on stocks due to anticipated hawkish Federal Reserve. What am I watching? It's, Roger, that's where you go wrong. It's not same as expected. It came in harder. It came in way harder. Even harder than previous and harder than the forecast. Listen, I'm calling it right now. This is crap. And this is absolute scam behavior. This should normally always be a risk-averse news. This should drive people away from risk-on assets. This is the craziest shit I've seen in a very, very, very long time. Look at this pump from it. 0.5%. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you guys right now. This shit is coming down. What did I miss? What news? CPI came in hot. Which means it's bad for stocks. It's bad for the economy and very bad for risk on assets. But Bitcoin decided that it's not a risk-on asset anymore. Bitcoin from now on has the absolute bottom of 80.4 and no news can put it underneath. I swear if CZ now came out and said Binance is going bankrupt, it would still be bullish. Hi, Mr. X. So this is probably the most ridiculed news. But the good thing is, like, you can put a stopwatch at the EMA because from every EMA we just bluntly straight pump. As you can see now. This is completely ridiculed. Absolutely ridiculed. $200 EMA. Okay, we're back at 81K. Bro, if this thing during New York doesn't come down, I'm out for the week, man. I've had enough. There's only X amount of bullshit that I can take. And this is, it's just too, it's getting too much for me, man. This is getting out of hand. I'm sorry. This is getting completely out of hand. I cannot take much more crap from Bitcoin. Is it a fake pump? I'm like 80% sure that it's a fake pump. Where could it reverse between now and 900K? McNuggy, I've seen you bull posting now 412 times approximately. I've read it. You can stop now, otherwise you're gonna be timeout. Thank you. Increase your volume. I think my volume is good, man. No one else is complaining about it, to be honest. I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. I'm not trusting this pump. There's zero chance I'm trusting this. Let's see how we open. This thing is on steroids. Bro, this thing is on absolute full-blown cocaine. Has everyone ever heard about the Russian cocaine bear? Listen, if the stock market pumps after this, it's gonna be the biggest crime syndicate that I've seen. This is such a crime syndicate. We might grab liquidity, but we've grabbed this liquidity like 42 times now. I'm tired of winning, guys. I'm absolutely tired. Take it away, Uncle Donald. How do I contact Bitcoin correctly directly to say what the fuck is this? I don't know, man. I've tried as well. Listen, I've said it before in other live streams as well. My spider senses are tingling. Like, I would heavy short this shit if I wasn't already in a position. I'm not trusting this. I'm not trusting it as far as I control it. Of course, listen, market making algorithms are heavily manipulating this. Listen, CPI, it's expected to go up first. Why? Because everyone thinks it's a short. And if everyone agrees on the fact that it's a short, well, then probably we'll go the other direction, right? Because it wants to trap more, it wants to liquidate more. But the irrationality that we're seeing as of now, good, sir. Will you be adding 50 minutes? Yes, we were at the 50 minutes and the daily on FlowX as well. Yeah, TA is 80% became completely useless. I think we need to adopt the new God at this point and pray to him on the daily and hope that he blesses us with something decent. Like the last 2 weeks, there's no feasible TA you could potentially unleash on these charts. What I'm currently just seeing is that they're clearing some of the liquidity on top. DXY is unable to do anything as well. They might just clear until the 81.6. Why? Because they always clear the 81.6 apparently. But now it looks that the EMA is rejecting, so it's working as a resistance instead of a support. But this candle, man, I explained yesterday in the live stream that the EMAs are becoming more and more important again, same as prior to FTX. And look at this beauty. Again, pump, pump, tap, pump away, tap, pump away, tap, pump away. Beneath, tap exactly into the order block here. And off we fucking go. But yeah, the irrationality is high. The unreasonability is high. The liquidity stacked to both sides is extremely high. So right now we are in treacherous water. We are in very dangerous terrain. I'm curious to see what New York's going to bring us. In the meantime, let's answer some questions. Do you see any chance? Yes, there is a chance. If people are stacking liquidity too high to the upside, crypto is the only market that is mostly fueled by liquidations. If everyone now die hard shorts, we're fucked and we're going to pump. We're just going to blow it out of the water. You were talking once about how strategies change every couple of months, like 3 times a year. But I guess now we're going into counter trading, the obvious, maybe just too much retail trading the news. Right now is one of those in-between periods where we're reinventing strategies and trying to figure out what has been working, right? Because even CVD is still working, but it appears to be that CVD also is less of a tau sign, right? So this indeed is, again, me trying to reinvent the wheel. That's why I'm trading slightly less, but it is something that has to be done. Like, let's be honest, what kind of strategy can you unleash at this current PA? What's the strategy here, right? Except fire and forget and up only. What about gold? Gold is down, I think. Yeah, gold is down, oil is up. But oil looks to be dropping as well, which is ridiculous. Curious to see how Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and the S&P are going to react. Listen, they're marking up and positioning Bitcoin pretty high. They're still above the pre-CPI high. But the stock market retrace would be rather logical, wouldn't it? But the thing is, logic does not apply to Bitcoin. The 80.4K range seems to be an unpenetrable fortress. FOMC plan, I don't know, man. How much was the hair transplant in BTC? I don't know. Finally able to live session. Bro, and you chose a big one, man. You chose the mother of irrationality. I've been buying every dip since 76 and selling for a few hundred higher. It's working good so far, but might get burned eventually. Bro, as long as it's... Listen, this thing, and that's the issue as of now. This thing is not coming down slowly. The amount of irrationality there is in this market, it has to be a huge fucking dump if we want to come down. It's not going to come down slowly. And we've seen this before. Let me get... Look at the 4 hour, right? Pumping, refuses to dump, consolidating, and all of a sudden, boom, there it goes. Right? It always moves ferociously to the downside. Same as this region. Ferocious. Ferocious, 10-10. And all these regions have been regions of irrationality. Right now, we're just having slightly more irrationality. Look at this 4 hour candle again. or how I like to call it, this 4-hour scandal. So we have negative CPI. We have data that should imply that we're going down. And the market is like, you know what? Fuck you all. The hilarity of this is unreal. It's absolutely unreal. Look at these candles. So this is CPI coming out. Couldn't even retrace it. Pumped out. Rejected. Pumped back up immediately. If anyone here can explain this to me, feel free. Because I'm absolutely fucking lost. The time frames, the 1 minute is already bullish. The 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour and daily are on the fence. But they're definitely not negative again. So, I'm from the Netherlands, man. So yeah, right now Bitcoin is... Have you guys ever went to a supermarket and seen like a 3 or 4 year old crying on the floor, throwing a temper tantrum and being dragged away by its mother? That's what Bitcoin is right now. Someone needs to drag it out of the supermarket. Right, we're getting to the point where someone has to just come and collect Bitcoin at the ball pit. He's being a bitch to everyone else. And that's slightly where we are right now. Bitcoin's throwing a temper tantrum and being an asshole. Bro, the last daily candle looks bullish. I don't know, man. Everything looks bullish right now. And if it isn't bullish, it's still bullish. So it's irrelevant. How should I use CVD data for my trade setups? Pretty easy. Combine it with the money flow on the bottom, on the hourly, the 4 hourly, or the 24 hours. And you can see an overall direction combined with the chart, right? If the chart is moving opposite direction of what the money flow in the CVD is telling you, it's probably lying. Don't buy them the cookies and get the fuck out of the supermarket. Exactly. This is to the point where you might need to smack it in the head and tell it to get its shit together, right? But this is a level of irrationality. Yeah, it is bullish. But the question is, why and how long can it remain bullish? Right? It's not about it being bullish. This is a bit of a philosophical question. To be bullish or not to be bullish? And how long can you remain bullish when it's actually not bullish? So better said, how long can it fucking lie to you? That's worse. They will scream while crying. Well, sometimes it's, I don't know. You know? They're 85 or 93. Yeah, maybe 57 or 54. Like, no one knows. Last time I checked, my last name wasn't Nostradamus. I couldn't look into the future. My pink sweater is still in South Africa. It's back next week. It's being washed. But as of now, all I can say is sit here. I can tell you guys that it's the EMAs are working like a pinball machine. The irrationality of Bitcoin is uncanny. Oil appears to call the suicide hotline. DXY is doing the same thing. And stocks might open positive. And then it's going to be... Listen, if the stock market has the audacity to go up from here, and we won't break 80.4k, put the goddamn house down and go long. Because then it's not coming down. We can do whatever we want, but it's not coming down. The auction tourist, in a normal market condition, you would be right. Why? Because you can always have the argument that BTC is the counter for inflation, right? I 100% agree with you. Yet, we're having global economic tensions and two wars. The Russia-Ukraine one and the Iran-US one. And Israel is throwing bombs left, right, center as well. Why does this differentiate the case? Because it's already against risk on assets. And last time I checked, Bitcoin is still a risk on asset, no matter how we look at it. The market is telling you it's bullish. You can disagree with that, but it is what it is. In the end, market doesn't care about our opinions. Well, let's agree to disagree that this is bullish or a trap. But we'll find out soon after the commercials. I'm not planning on changing my short. I have my level set. I'll see from there. Bull flag. Bro, if we're gonna start talking flags, I'll raise the whatever flag you want. But if there's something I definitely don't believe in, it's in a flag pattern. Listen, New York is gonna do what New York does. And we can speculate until then, have an argument, have a fight about it, whatever you guys like. In the end, I win every fight. And I can, listen, the market can try to fuck me, but I can stay liquid pretty long. I think it is a bull trap. Why? Because economically, inflation-wise, geopolitical, tell me what is bullish. And I know that war stimulates the economy. But what is bullish? And to much love for how you do, I appreciate you, even though the trading times are difficult now. Bro, right now I'm trying to pivot more to do some sort of education and less trading, because I'm just being honest. I just don't know. And my job, I feel responsible, even though it's non-financial advice and everyone is old enough to know what they can risk and to press the buttons themselves. I still feel a certain responsibility towards you guys. And that's why I'm trading less publicly now. It's because I don't know. And if I don't have certainty in my setups, I don't take the setup. It's that easy. I preserve capital. And preserving capital is way more important than trying to scrape the shit out of something that is completely irrational. Right now you can see pressure building, right? It's probably going to fly again. Why? Because of the speed that they bought it up with. Would it make difference if they use crypto in these war trade and war economy? Depends on what chain. Like, they're not going to use Bitcoin then, right? And they would never tell us. I like this song. You can just see pressure coiling up right now. We're going to approach the pivot point of 15 CET in 4 minutes. Mostly then happens a bit of firework. What I just don't get is the fact that oil is dumping. And Dixie is dumping as well. So oil is losing strength. The dollar is losing strength as well on negative news. Song is banging. Yeah, right. Are we going to make a triple bottom right here? Retest of the 80.8. No, we... Interesting scandals. So I'm just enjoying the song for a minute. Absolute banger. Yeah, I like that one. So CPI was impactful? Not yet. Most of the news only has an impact as soon as New York stabilizes. So that would be in an hour from now. An hour and 2 minutes. Why the first 30 minutes of New York might be healing from Flynn. Here we go again. First 30 minutes of New York don't always necessarily need to be impactful. Why? Because it's stop hunt, scam, breakout, fake out, yada yada yada. People of Tomorrowland, are you with me? CPI harder than expected? Yes. But Bitcoin's also a muy caliente going to the upside. Oh, triple bottoming. Exactly where we had it before. Why? No one knows. But it is a lower high theoretically, but it's equal bottom, so. It's crazy how they can just hold the same level over and over again without actually having a structure. You can just see where the market algorithms is pressing like, nah, we had enough here. Thank you. And we pump again. Still think up from here? Bro, logically, absolutely not. If I look at the chart and at the movement and the influx and the outflux, there's a pretty big chance that we're actually going up. Yeah, this will squeeze. I think it's going to squeeze. Okay, we have the 3 pivot. Let's see what the pivot point is going to do. You also see that there's no volume coming in, right? Look at the scarcity of orders. They completely dried the order book here. Now someone puts $1 million or $1.5 million, we're just gonna see a $200 move. You see, there's only $1 million. At this point, I don't know what I want. If they reverse here again, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. If they actually... Bro, I haven't even spoken the words. On the dollar. Look at this. This is a neglectable level. There's nothing here. And they just quadruple bottom it. Absolute joke. Look, they're exactly holding this level, right? Retracement, up from there again, retracement, up from there again, tap it, up again. It's marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. Brother, as a beginner, what should I do or learn to become profitable like you? Forget TA, forget learning the markets, learn risk management. If you get your risk management in check, you're profitable. Because honestly, right now, TA can be thrown out of the window anyways, so... Wait, who would tag me in general? Oh yeah, we're pumping again. 80.8 is tons of volume. Bro, 80.4 is more. Bro, I love you like all the time. Thank you very much. Love you too. Do you think there's a benefit to ignore all news, macro noise, and just focus on the chart only? I think the only people that have an edge trading news are people with inside info. I don't know if there's a way to actually ignore all of it. So I don't know. If you can, there might be. But what kind of PA are you trading right now? Because PA-wise, I cannot help you in this. Look at... Okay, then PA, explain to me these two candles, right? These are $50 5-second candles. What's this PA then? A rising inverted bullfrog. With TAT is technical analysis, my friend. Chart looks like normal. Yeah, you can see these two candles, right? They implicate that there's something going on. And yes, most of the data, like CPI, is always released prior to New York Open. That makes it hard. So now we still have 25 minutes prior to New York Open. But you can see that the pressure is trying to increase while the volume isn't. So it's going to be a doozy of an opening. We're still working on a 15-minute time frame, buddy. That's why it's not there. We're building it. How to master on crypto trading. Listen, guys, everything boils down. Sorry, I have to casually die, yeah? Everything boils down to risk management. Everything is just risk management. And risk management is something you have to get acquainted of. You have to set up risk in a methodology where you only need to win 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4. And then a win rate of 50 or 60%, which is already pretty high if you look at fund structures and actual traders. Like, I'm going to show you guys my win rate, right? And everyone keeps bloating about having insane win rates, yada, yada, yada. I don't give a flying fuck about win rates. So my P&L for the last 7 days is 193K. Right? Where's my camera going? Hello, buddy. I'm here. So 193K. Total, I have a win rate of 47.82%. So 47.82% is my win rate on these orders. Then everyone can say, like, you need 80% win rate. But you don't. I made 200K plus, which is 10% on this, yeah, a little under, like 7-8% on this board, while having a below 50% win rate. Chento, do you think MMs have a few months in advance and they execute short time frame to get as much as possible? Do whales know in advance what they'll do end of year and when? No, whales don't. Market makers... There's a market maker's position, and market makers bring a price to XYZ, right? So, no, whales have no clue. Some whales can actually influence. No, 47 is trash, man. When I'm locked in, I'm at 70-80%. But my win rate doesn't say anything about my profitability. That's what people forget. Right? This market is an absolute joke fest. By the way, 350 people, only 100 likes. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get it to at least 200 likes. It's just a very, very easy thing to do. Just press the button, and thank you very much for doing it. Are you going to long or short on this trade? Yes. I can't understand this chart. Bro, if you're just here to know what I'm going to press, save yourself the time and find another stream. Because I don't think after this news and how the chart is behaving that I'm going to press any button now. What's the biggest loss and biggest win you have? Bro, I think I lost $1 million and I made, like, in a single trade, 1.7, 1.8. I don't know any books on risk management. Bro, it's just, listen, risk management is not a fixed thing, right? You need to have an RR return. So 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. And you need to have a portfolio risk appetite that can scale towards it. Like 2, 3, 4%, whatever. But you can't go 10 because then all of a sudden everything goes out of the window. And the most important thing about risk management is being realistic to yourself. It's conditional. If you take 4% spot drawdown risk and say, listen, it needs to go up 16% in order for me to make my RR. It's dog shit. I know risk management, but when I try to start a new journey, I will lose and lose. Can I need to backtesting? Bro, but why do you lose? What's happening? Are your stops too tight? Is your profit too far away? Is the move you're aiming for too big? Listen, statistically, you cannot lose and lose and lose and lose. Unless there's something wrong with your setup or methodology, right? Bro, I can throw random... I legitimately... And I said I'm gonna do it, but now I really have to start it. I can do a fucking coin flip and make money. And it's about risk. Oh, CVD is dumping. CVD is jumping off a cliff, but Bitcoin isn't. Look at that. Look at the CVD chart. Look at what's happening live on CVD. And Bitcoin's still holding the pressure. That's amazing. Trying to get the big RR. Bro, then you're in the wrong direction of the trade. And either your risk is too big for the amount of profit that you're trying to get, then your risk size has to decrease and your profit size has to increase. Because it's conditional, right? Thing is, if you only have 0.6% risk, you only need 1.8% upside. If you have 1.5% risk, you need 4.5%, and the market isn't giving it. Right? This market is not doing 4 or 5% moves. You can go wrong with taking early profits. Because if your risk is 1% and you always take profit at 0.3, you all of a sudden need 3 wins to compensate 1 loss. So that's not true. It has to be realistic. If you have 10K, how much you're risking per trade? Not more than $200. Oh, let me guess, we're at the same bottom again? Yeah. We are. Who would have thought? That's unexpected, right? Me taking profit at 1 on and stops BA. Yeah, that's not bad. Bro, this shit must be joking, right? What the hell? This level is impenetrable. Listen, guys, 80.8 is the new bear market bottom. It's never going to go below again. I'm joking, I'm joking. Hi, Chento. Hello, buddy. Yeah, I started early for CPI. It was very uneventful, but at least now we can see live in action the Great Wall of 80.8. It's impenetrable. This is the Fort Knox of trading barriers. Madness. Bears that got scared. Bro, it's... Listen, Michael Saylor might be the only one in the world that is keeping Bitcoin from 40K. Recommend any short scalps, not 18 minutes prior to New York opening. That's called suicide. CVD dumping and Bitcoin not doing anything means that there's a discrepancy. So it might be a delayed move. Listen, retail always tells the truth. Why looks this to be going up like a maniac? On every time frame. What the fuck? There actually was a huge CVD influx apparently. Not on the 4 hourly. But look, on the 4 hourly we're still dropping in CVD. So CVD has been constantly going lower throughout this move. Yet we're holding. This has to catch up with one another. It's not going to become a new reality. Trust me on this. It has to catch up with one another. Oh, look at that. We're going to bounce here, I guess. S&P looks crazy. Bro, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, everything looks insane. Be surprised if you don't hit yesterday's daily high or low today. That's a 2K spread you're talking about, my friend. That's a 2.5% difference. So I'd say pick your poison, but who am I? Approaching the EMA. What are we going to do with the EMA? Well, we can all fill that in. We're probably going to bounce. Listen, all I want to see, again, and I drew this yesterday as well. It's either this or this. And as long as this structure holds, might be even something like this. As long as the structure holds, what I need to see is either a bounce here and a retest, and we can long it up again. So either this would be a reopening of the hedge with confirmation here, or retest after successfully breaking would be confirmation for the short, and that would look like this. These are the only two things I'm interested in. But both of them originate from the 80.4K range. Price is capped at 81.3. Yeah, it is. It is. If it's spoofing or not, they're capping it. It's just twapping between. We're at the EMA again and instant reaction. Because why the fuck not? Yeah, object tree. Can I see the object tree then? No? Okay, thank you. Very useful. I like that. Did you close your long completely? Yeah, I'm waiting. Look at how the EMA keeps on, and it's a 200 EMA in the 5 minute. Look at how strong it remains, right? So impose, underneath, hold, shift out. Impose, not even underneath, hold, shifting already. Instantaneous. Look at these candles in the 5 second. They literally went to the algorithm and they coded it. Listen, guys, from now on, there's no way we're going underneath the EMA. And if so, we have to shift out like a maniac. And the algorithm's like, yeah, sure, sounds like a plan. This is, normally you have retail manipulation, you have whales holding it up, you have price walls, you have whatever. This is complete algorithmic manipulation. This is a couple of big guys that agreed upon the fact that it ain't fucking happening, so it ain't fucking happening. Nothing more, nothing less. When breakout live trading, upcoming Sunday. Like, they hit a cable in the road, so I couldn't do it last Sunday evening. But I'm actually very, very excited for it. And again, guys, check out MetaMask. It's really cool. The link is in the description. You don't need to sign up. Just check it. Press the link. Check it out. Do yourself that favor. And if you want me to continue with everything for free, make sure to join the free Discord. The link is pinned. And make sure to join us at one of our preferred exchanges. And for non-KYC, that 100% is Bluefin. I'm trading there with millions. And if you are trading with more than 50K, make sure to send me or my team a message and we can enroll you to Inner Circle. It's closer contact. It's a more up-close group on WhatsApp. Again, everything for free. Where I explain more. I'm in there with my personal number. And everyone's printing, guys. It's definitely beneficial to be in there. You guys should do yourself that favor. Oh, a nice dumpy dump. Don't you think a lot of moves are built to bait people? Yeah. That's why most of the moves are delayed, right? This correlation, listen, there's a correlation between every market. It's just a timing thing, right? Why you want to help people? Very simple. I made good money. I'm still making good money while trading. And I think that everyone within this industry has been hurt or has been toxicated to the extreme. So I feel obligated and I feel that it is my goal to try to help people and learn them the skills I've learned. Help them with the methodology I'm using. One, because I enjoy it. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy being with you guys and I enjoy helping people. Secondly, I think for maturity of the market and the maturity of crypto in general, and also making sure that the market goes to a more professional status, the only way to do it is by helping people. And not enough people are helping people right now, in my opinion. Look. Look the difference. The chart keeps dumping. 𝗵𝗿𝗏 doesn't. 𝗵𝗿𝗏 is holding it. So the difference in price on 𝗵𝗏𝗏 right now must be huge. Look at the aggregated, 6,440. 𝗵𝗏𝗏 is not dumping. We're under the previous low. This is market manipulation. This is very important to see as well, guys. This is the discrepancy between market making. What's your EMA settings? That's a 200 EMA. Well, how can this be like this? That's crazy, right? What type of trading makes a big risk to reward? Reversal, retest, SMC, price action, breakout pattern, or indicator based? Bro, everything can make a big risk to reward. You just need to be able to find the right entry. And there's no fixed answer to your question. Now there's pressure. You see, they taken 50 million of retail pressure and managed to twist it negative. I don't like the fact that all of a sudden 𝗵𝗏𝗏 has a discrepancy to flow X, because we're aggregating over 20. Buddy, please install 𝗵𝗏𝗏 and check price and speak. Bro, I have 𝗵𝗏𝗏. I have the bloody 𝗵𝗏𝗏 chart open here. So there's two options. Either 𝗵𝗏𝗏 API towards TradingView is off. Because I'm aggregating 22 exchanges. I'm not off. Trust me. What type of trading? I just answered that one. Chento, is manipulation illegal? Not really. Depends on how. And depends on what market. What that signals to you, that the discrepancies between exchanges is growing. So that means that certain market makers remain buying and some are selling. I trade 𝗵𝗏𝗏 and it's dumping on the 5-minute chart. I refresh the chart, it's 𝗵𝗏𝗏, USDT, perpetual contract. My settings are right. Go. Morning from the US Virgin Islands. Good morning to the US Virgin Islands. How is it there? All I can see is that there's a discrepancy. That's all I can tell you. And I don't like that. Generally holding equal lows again. 5 minutes prior to New York, this is going to be a doozy. Oil is up. Dixie's getting up. I would be surprised if the stock market is open positive. Look, now it's aligned again. You can tell me whatever you want, but that candle was 100% off. I don't care, but I'm right. That easy. Pressure's down. Then went to take a shit and missed a short. Why do I read everything out loud? It's my own mistake, I know. Coming back up. 3 minutes and 20 seconds prior to New York. And we're still holding. It's actually incredible to see. Bro, sending me a voice message. What the actual fuck? Closed my long right after I saw some random pop-up message on Maxi today. BTC entering the boost cycle. Oh yeah, that's lethal. That's absolutely lethal anyways. I get that. Once exchanges start predicting cycles and start handing out advice, oh god. I absolutely get that. Guys, 400 people in here, only 145 likes. Come on. We should at least be able to get to 200, 250 likes. It's the only thing we're asking. The rest we do is everything for absolutely fucking free. And please, don't be too lazy to just press a button, right? It's that easy. 50 minutes is the last up candle and order block with imbalance acting as a future resistance zone. No clue. No clue how you mean it. For me, I don't look at imbalances as resistance zones. I look at areas of confluence. So for me, it's the longer price consolidates in XY region, the more strength it gets from that XYZ region. So for me, it's a mixture. It's dwell time, right? So it's time spent. And that gives me the confluence, and that's what I draw my dwell blocks off. And that's a different methodology than most people are using. But for me, it definitely works. New York opening in 8 seconds. Oh, prepare for the firework. I'm excited. How are you guys? When you start trading, where you're using support and resistance, like everyone that starts. No, listen, I know support and resistance, but I just look at it visually, right? And dwell time theoretically could be seen as a form of support and resistance. Okay, nothing happening at opening. No pressure. Even though the whole money flow turned absolutely bearish across time frames. Tame opening. What's all doing? Not much. Ooh, stocks are all opening red. And not a little bit. Nasdaq is red. Bitcoin is responding very tame. Very tame. Gone pressure through. Of course it pumps. So you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. All keeps pumping. Stocks are not yet wheeling it in. Bitcoin is wheeling it in though. Bitcoin is like, listen guys, I thought about it. I'm going to be the hedge against inflation. I pressed the up only button. I discussed with the market makers. It's fuck you all. Whatever you want to do, I'm going up. No way the top's going to be a triple top. Bro, there's every way that it's going to be even a higher top. Oil is rocketing, stocks are dumping, Bitcoin's also pumping. Great. Magnificent. And it's not just going up, it's like... What did I press now again? Bitcoin turned on the rocket, boys. And goes on the odd chance. Good afternoon, Chento. Still in both long and the short. No, I'm in the short only. Is it obvious that you should do the opposite? I don't know, man. You can do that, it's fine. Look at how they're defending this low. It's crazy. Don't have any trades on and don't know what the market wants. You're probably the smartest one in the chat right now, to be honest. Look at how the pressure is increasing in the bottom right. Mine is 100 million again. We've been at this exact spot yesterday as well. So 100 million downwards pressure right now, and Bitcoin is refusing to release. If we're going to see a move to the downside, the probability of us just V-shaped recovering again is so high that they just wipe out some liquidations, just pump back up bluntly. This is madness. Absolute madness. First candle is going to close green in New York opening. I repeat, the first 5-minute candle is going to close green probably. Oh, they flipped it red at the... what a buzzer beater. An absolute buzzer beater. Time frames are flipping bearish. Everything from the 1 to the 30 minute is now bearish. Doesn't say anything yet. I'm a go. Thanks for your expertise. You're more than welcome. DXY is still going up. Stocks look to be turning more bearish. Liquidations is probably next to nothing, but it's... Listen, the more irrational the market gets, the less liquidations it need to pump back up, right? So this morning again, we liquidated like 30 million long, and it was enough for more than a 0.5% move. Now as well, I don't know who's defending this or who put down an army, but it's incredible. Look at the amount of pressure that this candle held. This one. And it did absolutely nothing. We're talking about a shit ton of volume there. And as of now, it's just refusing to let go. This level is defended so well. Look at the wicks. Wick, 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 wick. Everything in this region has wicks. Same as here. So this level is insanely well defended. Why? I have no fucking clue. But it is a given that they're fighting for this level with their life. That's what's so crazy to me, to be honest. Look, immediate, instant. Instant buyback. Look at that candle. Well, all the volume and all the pressure remains down. So the market is pressuring down. The volume is pressuring down. The CVD is pressuring down. And the market is going up. Yes, that's right. Stocks are going down. Oil is going up. Gold is going down. The dollar is going up. And Bitcoin remains to ignore every fucking thing. If we're, and I've said it yesterday as well, if we're not going down, we will go up. This market is not for consolidation. This market is for exponentially irrational expanding. We still have the bearish CPI. We still have the bad numbers. We still have all the tension and all the conflicts. And as of yet, we're still sitting at a high level, which is unreal. Completely unreal. In my whole trading career, I've never seen this level of irrationality. If all the pressure is down, how is it possible to go up? I have no clue. This is just market makers and algorithm fighting the other end. It's just fighting the other end because there's no single thing that still shows bullish or positive signs. None. Except the chart. So every data point that you could get on this market is bearish. From volume to pressure to macro to economics to even the stock market today. Yet it's not going down. I don't know what to say more, guys. Long your longs. Put the house down. Could you please explain how the absorption that someone on the other side is willing to put more fucking money down? So the market maker just executes all the contracts themselves. They're just literally absorbing the money. They're like, you want a short? Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. You don't even have to fulfill the order gaps as of now. Look, and we're back at the EMA. In a straight line. Back at the EMA, thank you for playing. And this is what... Absolutely uncanny. Absolutely uncanny. There's zero chance that this can remain this way. There's absolutely zero chance. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. But, long story short, we're back at the fucking EMA. No, there are not many shorts above. Longs exceed shorts by 4.5 times as of now. Yeah, the market makers are putting money down. Absolute money in funding and everything. In OI, in... There's... Yeah. It's impressive. It's very impressive. Very impressive. I don't even know how they're doing it with this pressure. Because, as you can see, the whales keep pressuring as well. Remember when 10-10 happened, the ratio between longs and short was 5-1. Yes, and we're now at the same ratio as we've seen at 10-10. With the same amount of irrationality. So I don't... Listen, I might not be Picasso, but I can draw out what might happen, right? Stocks are creeping back up, man. Bro, if stocks open or if stocks close green with this CPI data, GG's, we can give up on economy. The pressure down keeps increasing. There's more and more pressure down. Eight to 1 might be, depends on how much of the data you're checking, right? Look at the EMA, man. The EMA is an impenetrable fortress. Bitcoin has up-only algorithm. Crazy. Absolute insanity. I haven't seen a proper dump in weeks, to be honest. Bull market is back. Yeah, might as well be. I would hedge at 80.4. If I see this PA, 100%. I might even open my hedge here, to be honest. What Porsche did you buy? None yet. I'm looking for the new 911 Turbo S. Uncanny. This is absolutely uncanny. So DXY is pumping, oil is pumping, and Bitcoin is pumping. Whatever. GGBDC, yeah, definitely. Just smack that at the EMA again. This whole 5 minute is the fight for the EMA. I cannot understand, based on all the data and everything that I'm seeing, how there would be a possibility to hold it here. I cannot tell you guys. I have multiple companies. Tantu Swagger. Look at the new opening. Those are the first 10 seconds. Look at the first 2 candles. I trade now for 8 years and have been consistently profitable after the first 18 months. We'll go up again, guys. It has been decided. Why? Because if it's not going down, it is going fucking up. How the hell is Nasdaq going up with this CPI reading? Bro, it's unicorn dust, fairy tears, and hopium. The only thing that is holding this market from complete utter bankruptcy and complete utter destruction is hopium, fairy tale dust, and unicorn tears. There's no structural backing. Absolute scandalous. Nothing more, nothing less. Absolute scandalous. It's the fight for the EMA, guys. And all I can tell you is that the bulls are doing a magnificent job. The bulls are unreal right now. Absolutely unreal. Look at the pressure that they put into this candle, right? And then it dissolves. Pressure's gone. It's just gone. They're refusing to release it to the downside. It's going to go up. I'm telling you right now, it's going to go up again. Even though oil is rising, look at oil. Look at the dollar. Right, look at the dollar. Nasdaq appears to be going down more. Dow Jones is down more, and S&P is also down more. And Bitcoin's like, well, I've thought about it. I think those rules don't apply to me. Today, I've chosen to follow oil. This whole, yeah, you're right in chat. It's completely driven on borrowed and non-existent money. Pump is held together by a lot of hopium, guys.
You know what's so crazy, man? It's like, it breaks my heart.